Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I was gonna set up my camera and do a whole thing, but it is late and I am just getting around to editing. It was my anniversary this weekend, so my husband and I spent a lot of quality time together, which now I'm editing kind of late, but he's more important, sorry. Anyway, if you've not already done so, I'd really appreciate it if you would take a second and ring the bell, subscribe to my channel. I am having a contest for the first 100 subscribers. I'm going to be doing a giveaway. All you have to do is be subscribed to my channel and then leave me a comment in the comment box down below. If you've already done it, you don't need to do it a second time. Just one comment to let me know. You can also check me out over on my socials, which are probably popping up on the screen down below as well. All right, so let's get on with the video. All right, so now that we're all foundationed and concealed, and I look like a ghost in this particular, just because of where I'm sitting, I'm kind of having to make some choices about the lighting. Let's talk about palettes. So would you like to show off your new ColourPop palette?
Sure. Oops.
So that's the Soul palette by ColourPop, and I'm going to be playing with the Just Your Luck palette by ColourPop, which is all greens, and I have not actually played with this beyond, I swatched it, and that was it. So let's talk a little bit about one of the things that I like about ColourPop and how they put their palettes together, and many companies do this, excuse me, is there's actually a lot of thought about placement, where they place the pigments. And the idea is, and I'm gonna Vanna White this, that, and try not to blind you, anything in any of the rows theoretically can go together to make an eye look. And that goes for left to right or top to bottom. And a lot of times with ColourPop, you'll notice what happens in this alignment is you will get a couple of mattes and then a shimmer. There is in my palette one row that is all shimmers, which is the middle row, which you could do a look all with shimmers. There's no rule that says you have to do all mattes. Chi also has an all shimmer row that's right in the middle. But a lot of times ColourPop will do things that are still be super glittery and then mild shimmer, right? So you kind of get that gamut of shimmer colors. All right, so when you're starting out, that's one of the places, if you're not certain what colors go together, you can literally pick a row, and that will give you kind of a starting color story. You want to look for, if you don't want to do that, right, or if you're uncomfortable or you don't like all the colors in a single, you look at the row and you're I like a color, right? Then you need to pick out your shades as far as a light, a medium, possibly a dark, and then a shimmer, right? So you can do this with 3 or 4 shades, and you can even do it with just one, like I showed in the one eyeshadow look video, which I will link here. But the best way to know how this is going to look is to test it on your arm, right? To swatch it on your arm. And I know there's a lot of varying opinions on arm swatches, because people are well, that's not how you apply it on your eyelid. You're not rooting around and then swiping it multiple times, right? But it does give you kind of an idea of what the pigment is going to look like on your skin when you swatch it. Some of the mattes are going to be either fairer or darker than they appear in the pan, depending upon the formulation. So swiping them on your arm is going to give you kind of a good idea. And if you're very, very nervous, one of the things that you can do is, once you've swatched all the colors, snap a picture with your cell phone so that you have that reference, so that when you go back to the palette and you're looking at it, you know, because sometimes colors are deceiving in the pan. Swatching and then taking a photograph of your swatches is a good idea, because if you've not used the palette in a while, you might not know, or you might not remember how dark something is, or how light something is, or how matte it is. So that's step one, is to go ahead and like swatch your pigments and maybe take a quick photograph of it just to sort of see what they look like. Excuse me, in like on your skin versus in the pan.
Oh, that doesn't show hardly at all.
Right? So that's another good example. You're swatching, what's the name of that one?
Unwind.
Unwind, which looks like it should be a very dark cocoa brown.
Mm-hmm. And it's
actually a little pinky. It's pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So that would be step one. When you get a new pan, go ahead and swatch. Step two is, once you've looked at the swatches, make sure that the alignment, right, kind of color story thing does hold out. Every once in a while, I've run into palettes, I'm not going to name names, but where the like layout of colors, the color story that they're telling makes no
it's a bad story.
Well, it makes no sense to me. That I'm literally like, these colors don't go together.
This episode was badly written.
Right. This episode was badly written. Like, I don't know who your packaging person was, but this was just a terrible idea. So check that, right? Because that rule is not a hard and fast one. It's just one that's, I think, done a lot. Okay. So let's walk through a very, very simple, I'm trying to think. Let me look at your eyes. All right, I'm going to give you this one. So she has very hooded eyes, at least compared to me. I have a little bit of a hood, but my hood is like in the corner, oddly enough, because of the way my like eyes are shaped. I'm going to give her this. This is a blending brush, but it is a lot fluffier. It's not tapered and it's not as compact. And the reason why I'm giving this to her for her crease brush is because she needs to get the shadow above the crease a little more than I will, for example. Because when her eyes are fully open, you're not seeing as much of her lid. And so we need to actually like, it's the optical illusion of both increasing the lid size, but then also so that like we can see the pigment, right? Mm-hmm. So we want to start with what's called a transition shade. And I know that word is thrown around a lot, but really all that is like a lighter, it's sometimes mid, depending on the artist, but I always like to start lighter because that's a hard and fast rule in fine art. You can always make something darker. It's much harder to make something lighter. A lighter shade and take it into the crease. And a lot of times I will take it both into the crease and then like a little bit into the corner of my eye, only because I feel like it provides a smoother blend when I start taking kind of deeper colors into the corner of my eye. Did you prime your? Mm-hmm. Okay, you're all primed. Okay, so I'm going to start with the color. Chances are. What color are you going to start with?
I like this road. So New Digs.
New Digs. Okay, and I'm going to cut in, which people are probably seeing. I'm going to cut in pictures with little arrows so everybody will know what we're doing. All right, so I'm going to take Chances Are, and I'm going to use, mine's a little more like of a angled crease brush, just because
So just across the crease?
Mm-hmm. My eyes are very deep set, and so I need kind of more of a deeper reach on my crease brush. And I will say, when you're trying out a new palette, sometimes it's a good idea to do your eyes first and your face second. We're not doing it this way, only because you don't know how much fallout, which is literally like loose pigment that comes off the brush and winds up on your face. You don't know how much fallout the pigments are going to give you. And so sometimes to kind of control that, you want to do your eyes first and your face second. Or if you're really uncomfortable doing your eye makeup, do your eyes first and your face second, because then you can just wipe it off if you hate it. Okay, I put a little bit of tape on my face because I want to kind of smoke this out just a little more, and I already did my rest of my face, so.
I have glasses lines.
I don't know when that happens. Okay, so once the transition shade has been taken in, you want to go with your next darkest shade. Normally this is going to be a matte. You can do a shimmer if you want to. Are you going this way?
Okay.
Okay, so you're going in with, the name of the shade is
Unwind.
Unwind, and I am going around with Kiss My... Wait, that can't be right.
Doesn't matter what comes after that.
Kiss... All right. Kiss My Hass?
Oh, Haas.
Haas.
Yeah.
Ah. We both in our...
That's funny.
My glasses on, and I can't do math. All right, that's to quote Peter Mon. It's one of my favorite Peter Monisms. Whenever he can't figure out something, he's always like, I don't know, I have my glasses on, and I can't do math. Like, my poor husband, he's such a good sport that he will let me, like, he'll be in the room when I'll have like a YouTube video on. And now he has actually picked up some of the, like, Peterisms.
Nice.
He also has picked up some of Rich Lux's things. Like, I'm like, he said something. He was like, the house. And I was like, baby, I love you, but I don't think you can say that. Like, you're just too...
The one, I've only seen that very brief bit of the Peter Mon video. But while I've got Jane on hold, goes through my head over and over.
I am going to try to cut that into this video, just for those of you that don't know who Peter Mon is. He does this bit with a fake phone. It is unbelievably funny.
Ding-a-ling-a-ling, shim-a-ling-dang, ding-dong. Ding! How's the drama phone? This is Peter speaking. Oh, hi, Jane. How are you? Mm-hmm. Well, I'm just sitting here having a cup of coffee, Jane. Uh-huh. No, I'm off the gimlets. Uh-huh. No. Clearer thinking, Jane. Clearer thinking. That's all it's about. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to take this darker shade, again with my crease brush, and this time I'm going to take it right into the crease point, not taking it up or down as much to deepen the crease. And I'm also going to take it over and out into my corner. Since I'm winging, I don't know if I'm in frame here. I'm kind of winging this out just a little bit and pulling it back in. Now, if you really want to make the domes of your eyes pop, you can take a little bit of this darker color kind of in your inner corners a little bit as well. I know some people do that. I tend to save that more for, like, if I'm gonna cut my crease, do like a half moon cut crease, then I will do kind of dark on either side and leave the center cleaner. So the idea behind this is gonna kind of sink in the eyes and give it just a little more shape. And you can take that color as far down on your crease as you want, depending on what you think looks good. Now, if you look at it, I don't know if you guys can see, if it's too extreme, which I don't think it is, but if it's too extreme, you can go back with your first shade and blend it out just a little bit to sort of soften it. That's kind of the whole point of, like, starting with that nice light base, is it gives you something to work that darker color into. Okay. We're going to take that same middle color and we're going to kind of pack it into the corners of our eyes to darken that up. And it's going to look deeper because packing, right, versus swipe, right, that kind of blending, swiping with a fluffier brush is really just pushing that color on. It's for me. All right, I want you to take up almost to, can you feel where the underside of your brow bone is?
Mm-hmm.
Take the lightest color almost all the way up there for you, and then reblend that darker shade like kind of into your crease because you've lost a little bit of the transition shade.
Okay.
I'm gonna jump down to Charmed. I know I'm out of my row, but whatever. I'm gonna go right into the very, very corner here. And I'm using, I believe this is called a pencil brush. I always call it a bullet brush because it's sort of shaped like a bullet. And I'm going to just take it into that, there we go, inner eyelid corner. Because I really, 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 really want that contrast. And then I'm just going to real gently blend that out. And you can always go back in, right? Like that transition shade is a great one for like if something is patchy or right doesn't quite look right. Don't be afraid to go back in and reblend. I don't know why, but sometimes for me, like dark browns, olivey browns, they tend to be patchy. Fun color theory fact, green is one of the most difficult pigments to manufacture. You know, everybody always kvetches about purple in makeup, but chemically, green is very unstable. And for a long time, green was manufactured using arsenic.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Take the shimmer color, and I am using 50-50. And I'm taking it on my finger because a lot of times the shimmer shadows just go on better using a finger than a brush. And I'm going to tap this into the center of my lid. Now, if you have deeply hooded eyes, I would still do this, right? Because you are going to blink. People, right? People are going to see your full eye.
Once in a while.
But if you have deeply hooded eyes and you really feel like, oh man, this is not going to be seen, you can take that kind of clear down into your eye corner. Now, a lot of times I highlight down in here, right, to brighten that, but you can highlight on top of the, right, there's no rule that says that you can't take the shimmer further down on your lid. Let me see.
On this side so far.
Okay, good. Take your blender and just blend it ever so slightly because that is a super pigmented. It's really pretty. And you can always take your transition shade and like go back over it to blend it as well if you need to. And here's the thing. If you go in and you do an eye look and it's subtle, you can always take it up, right? Like you can always intensify the look. You can always darken it, right? So if you start with something subtle and then you're like, this is not enough, right? Don't be afraid to jump into like other shades, darker shades, you name it, to amplify the look. Okay, so now what I did was I took my medium shade and I smoked it out under my eyes, and then I took just a tiny bit of the shimmer and I smoked that out closer to the inner parts of my eyes. There you go. Good.
That's cool. First time I've ever put eyeshadow underneath my eyes.
Really?
Yeah.
It's
Until I started watching all the videos, I didn't know that was even a thing.
It is an easy way to kind of pull it all together. It can be very dramatic, but depending on the shades, like if you do like pinky tones, right, it's not going to be quite so dramatic. Now I just lined my waterline like up above, and then I did half down below. I didn't want to, like, if you do the whole of the under eye in black, it can close off the eye. And sometimes that looks good, right? I'm not going to lie. Like, sometimes that's a nice look. But I'm going for something a little less closed off. Hey everybody, so you've probably figured out the video has stopped. I got to this point in editing, and the last chunk of footage that she and I shot, I'm not certain what happened, but there is literally like a weird distorted line running straight through the footage. So I'm kind of like stuck. I'm trying to decide, do I ditch the video entirely, which I really don't want to do, or do I just close it out? And unfortunately, I didn't take any pictures of her finished look, and the only photographs I have of my finished look are from a snap that I did. So I'm going to throw just a quick still from that snap in so you can see the finished look. Really, we didn't do much other than like throw on a lipstick color, and I put on mascara and a little bit of lash. That's it. All right, so again, I apologize about this. I'm hoping I'm making the right decision in putting this video up and that you guys aren't like frustrated and ticked off. I really don't know what the heck happened, but I do apologize again. And in the meantime, and in between time, I hope you guys are happy and healthy and well rested, and are remembering that self-care is the most important form of care. And I will see you guys in the next one, hopefully without any technical glitches. Bye, everybody.